meeting to order. If everyone can please stand for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda? Seeing none, the agenda will stand as is. That'll take us to our first order of business. Under unfinished business, it's salute to veterans. I'll turn that over to our Parks Director, Rob.
I will turn that right back over to you all to see if there has been any time to kind of go through the information. The last time we talked about it, and I apologize, I don't remember when that was. It might have been May at this point.
Yeah, it was like a month and a half. Yeah.
And see if you have any thoughts on direction for this year's revamp.
Honestly, I think Brooke brought up a decent idea last time. You said, keep me honest, but more of like an afternoon or an evening thing, something. Do it, and maybe it's just keeping a file somewhere. When you guys sent all those dates of other events and like the dining stuff, I really don't care about. I mean, we're not, the folks are gonna go just grab a bite to eat, are gonna go to grab a bite to eat, whereas if you're gonna want some type of little program or something. So, I mean, for me, I do think what I referenced last time was, it would be nice to do some type of like a flag retirement ceremony like we had done in the first couple of years where it was in the evening. That was when it was like, it was too much. Part of the morning, they came back a couple hours later than that. Yeah, so, I think you've offered up to Rob, whether it's a musical,
Yeah, I know.
some type of music medley or something, but,
Yeah, I think we had talked about 4:30 to like 6:30, and then we could find out if anybody at the high school, if even, or the quartet that plays patriotic music, and then look in the Boys and Girl Scouts to do the pledge or anything with the flag.
yeah, I really would like to see the scout troop back to doing flags. I know it takes more time and it's a little harder to coordinate around the weather, but those scout troops over the years have asked for it, and it's like, oh, well, we're working around the weather, but I think that's a good community engagement, and honestly, that's the whole intention of that hillside over there when the vision was pitched, so we can.
So if we can get them for the flag and then the girls for the pledge, that would be ideal. That way we don't exclude any.
So have one troop do the pledge, one troop do the flag return.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the food, do we want to keep it at admission?
I think different. I mean, if the staff comes up with some type of good food option.
I know we have on board, I'm gonna say the wrong name, so I apologize ahead of time. First Energy Dominion, I know it's changed, I apologize, but they're happy to shop for the food again if, and pay for it if we're doing it.
All right, so steaks for everybody. No, I'm
Would
kidding.
you be willing to use that money to go to purchase for Mission Barbecue? Because I think it, unless, I mean, these guys are the cooks, I shouldn't even be talking. I don't know what you would cook, like what would be easy to do for a group, or I shouldn't talk about cooking at all. But I don't know if that's an idea, if they put the money towards purchasing, or I don't know if anybody has ideas on food, like dinner time food.
I mean, I'm sure we could, Drew's excellent chef.
Oh, wow.
But I mean,
Smoked turkey,
yeah,
I
I
will
mean, we
take
probably
some
could
smoked
come up
You
with,
want that
obviously it'd be easier if we didn't, because it is in the evening.
Yeah.
In case we can't get as many people to volunteer.
Yeah.
I was thinking, could be more like sandwiches or some kind of,
I think Mission Barbecue, and
Mission
maybe they'll
Barbecue
donate
kinda
whatever that money
sounds-
is towards that meal.
And they're patriotic.
I think
and-
that's
And
a
if they wouldn't, I'm sure we could come up with something we
Yeah.
could put together, we could use roasters and other things to try to, make
Yeah.
some side dishes along with
I
something.
think you're right about volunteers, I didn't think about that. I think if they're willing to shop, maybe they're willing to purchase the dinner.
Maybe, well, that would be easier on us.
What, Mission
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
So
we-
find out if they are
I'll
willing to
reach out
that,
to,
and
I'll
Mission
reach out
has,
to my new contact.
Bridge now?
It is, and I.
First Energy's not in Bridge.
No.
No, but it's,
Are you
I think the
talking-
Enbridge logo is one of the.
Dominion,
Yeah.
So,
section.
I know who it is, I just have to search my,
Yeah.
my email for the new contact. They
Okay.
switch the committee head every year.
Yeah.
On the grill.
And he emailed me already in, I wanna say it's February or March, saying they're in. So I'll just ask them, as we're revamping, if they consider just, paying for the meal straight from Mission Barbecue, we can just give them the contact, that would be easy. They
Yeah,
can call it over
great.
the phone and be done.
And if they want to, put little advertisements on the tables or anything to show our appreciation in that way.
Yeah, and in the newsletter, I'll revamp the posting, and then I have a list of the VFWs, American Legions in Plain Township, we can email all out to, if you have any other ideas, let us know, to get the word out.
And, there's always, if we do need one, there's always.
What's that? Honor court? Oh.
Community
what a-
service hours.
Yeah, that'd be it.
That's a good idea.
And given their veterans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a great way to
They,
incorporate them.
as their way of saying things.
You serve on honor court, right?
Yes.
Could you put out some feelers?
Yeah.
Good idea, that.
Yeah, that's-
Alright. Alright.
Okay, I think we have
We have a
enough there that we can.
I have direction.
Chew
I'm
on
looking
for a
All
while
right,
and
thank
then.
you.
I'll come back with updates, I have
Yeah.
direction.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
All right,
Thank
we
you.
have nothing under new business, we don't have the sheriff's report, so that'll take us over to Tom with the fiscal officer's report. Tom?
Thank you. Fiscal Officer number 1 is a resolution to authorize payment of pending warrants in the amount of $249,888.14.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 2 is a resolution to authorize payment of regular payroll in an amount not to exceed $300,000.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 3 is a resolution to authorize payment for the following medical claims.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 4 is the bank reconciliation.
If anybody has any questions, please see Tom after. Go ahead.
Fiscal Officer number 5 is the financial report.
Any concerns?
No concerns, we're in a strong cash position and everything else looks good.
Good. Again, if anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, please see Tom after. Go ahead.
Fiscal Officer number 6A is a resolution to authorize payment to members of the Plain Township Board of Zoning Appeals for the period of January 1, 2025 through June 30, 2025 at a rate of $50 per meeting for a total of $500.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 6B is a resolution to authorize payment to members of the Plain Township Board of Zoning Commission for the period of January 1, 2025 through June 30, 2025 at a rate of $50 per meeting for a total of $200.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 7 is a resolution that the Plain Township Fiscal Officer shall be authorized to transfer the amount of $200,000 from the Gasoline Tax Fund 2021-910-910 into the Orion Street Project Capital Fund 4916-931.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 8 is a resolution to authorize the Plain Township Fiscal Officer to request an amended certificate of resources from the Stark County Auditor for additional funds of $216,274.68 received and an interfund transfer of $200,000. The total amount to be appropriated is $416,274.68 and to appropriate these funds as follows.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
That concludes the fiscal officer report.
Thank you, Tom. Now I'll take us over to the administrator, Ms. Lisa Campbell.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a resolution for false alarms in excess of 3 responses.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 2 is a resolution to authorize and approve the attached walk, run, walk-run race applications for the Hall of Fame Village, Avondale Elementary, and Cheeky Monkey pending the certificates of insurance are
So-
received.
So moved.
Second, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 3 is a resolution to enter into a cooperative agreement with the Western Reserve Land Conservancy.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 4 is a resolution to authorize Scott Haas to execute all closing documents for the Initial and Wetlands Project.
So moved.
Second. Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
And that is the administrator report.
Thank you, Lisa. That'll take us over to Chief with the fire department.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a resolution by Plain Township Board of Trustees to accept resignation of part-time firefighter paramedic Mason Pierpont.
So moved.
Second, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Item number 2 is a resolution by Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize purchase and payment to Shane Fisk Roofing for the roofing repairs and shingles at 2625 25th Street, Station 3.
So moved.
Second, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Item number 3 is a resolution to declare the property at 7222 Morellis insecure, unsafe, or structurally defective, and whereas it's resolved to be secured at this time.
So moved,
Second?
discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Item number 4 is a resolution by Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize purchase and payment to Penn Care for one remount of a Lifeline ambulance on our own chassis, not to exceed $195,000.
So moved,
Second.
discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
And that concludes fire department. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. That'll take us over to Drew with the road department.
Thank you. Road number 1 is a resolution to adopt new job description, crew leader within the road department.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion,
I actually just applaud the format. I like how it's structured that.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than our older description formats.
Yeah.
yeah, very clean, detailed.
Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Thank you. That concludes road.
Thank you, Drew. That'll take us to Tom with the zoning department.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 1 is a resolution to declare items A through D as nuisance abatements.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
And item number 2 is a resolution to set a hearing date for amendment 58925.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Item number 3 is a resolution to accept part-time zoning inspector Vince Aquino's resignation.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion,
I think just let the record reflect, Vince has done an exceptional job. And I
Yes.
mean, you guys have made an exceptional team over there, because honestly, prior to both of your arrivals, our abatement list was significantly stronger, so I always like to attribute it to your verbal jujitsu with the residents, because honestly, if we can get them to do it on their dime versus
Yeah.
us and
Vince
tying
has
the
done a great
taxpayer.
job with that.
Yeah, his proactive approach has definitely saved us a lot of legal
Yeah.
approaches. So that in and of itself is just, walking up, knocking on the door, explaining what's going on.
it's gonna be hard to find someone to
Yep.
fill his shoes, so.
Yeah.
He worked well with
But
that.
he is definitely gonna go do something he's always
He's always
wanted to
wanted to
do.
do, yeah.
So good for him.
Exactly. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes. Okay, and that completes the zoning.
That's all for zoning, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Parks Department, that'll take us to Rob.
Thanks. The one and only item is resolution to enter into agreement and authorize the use of square for amphitheater merchandise sales.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harris?
Yes.
That concludes parks.
Thank you, Rob. Nothing under law director and communications. It'll take us back over to Lisa.
Thank you. Item number 1 is an invitation from the Stark County Soil and Water Conservation District for their 75th birthday party, which will be on August 2nd from 10 to 2 at their Richville office located at 2650 Richville. They're gonna have food, games, stewardship, and quite an accomplishment, 75 years of Stark Soil and Water. And that's the end of communications.
Thank you. This takes us to the portion of the meeting for the public speaking segment, and we welcome any audience member who wishes to address the board. You may refer to our public speaks format, which is located on the back desk. You can approach the podium or stay seated, whichever you prefer. Please provide your name and address to the fiscal officer to be included in the minutes. Please note that in accordance with Plain Township's regulations, each speaker is allotted 3 minutes to ensure all viewpoints are heard effectively, fostering fairness and accommodating diverse perspectives within the allotted time frame. Keep in mind that this is not a question-answer format, but an opportunity to speak. The board respects the rights of citizens to present differing opinions, views, and criticisms. Both the board and citizens are expected to respect the comments of others while maintaining the highest levels of decorum. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the board? Yes, ma'am. What is your name and address?
My name's Sherry Zimmerman, and I live at 7631 Morellis Avenue. I live next to 7622 Morellis.
Oh, okay.
My concern is safety. And I don't know if this house is gonna be torn down or not, but this house caught fire January 10th, as you all know. You all received my email. And there's kids around there, there's nothing to prevent people from walking into it. There's wet drywall, wet insulation, sharp objects. And I've talked to zoning, I've talked to the health department, I have reached out to Mr. Hawes, and he came and looked at the property. And I know there was somebody over there last night, so I don't know if they're thinking about tearing it down or what the deal is. But my concern is there's a dumpster that's been sitting there since the end of January, beginning of February, and it is overflowing. The residents were there this weekend throwing more stuff in. He was spraying Roundup all around the what's left of the house to kill the weeds. And it's starting to stink in our 90-degree heat. And the health department said it's not an issue. They had somebody out, there's no standing water in it. It's been sitting there since the end of January, along with the pod. And the zoning rules, I thought said that they could only have 90 days. Maybe it's different when you have a fire, I don't know. But it's clearly, it's a mess, and it needs addressed. So I'm kind of wondering what can be done.
I'm gonna withhold my comments, knowing you and I talked and let everybody else chime in first, but
So let's start first with what we actually passed tonight, and that was the securing of the building, correct?
Yes, we passed the resolution tonight to secure the property. That means the board, the side, the windows, any access points. The front door and the rear doors can't be locked, so that way at least it's secure. And then, so that's what we passed tonight. To get that done, they have 30 days to do those corrective measures. So, and because there is intent that they, at this time, to rebuild the structure. So from insurance, that's what they're telling me. So that's why we passed this tonight.
So the actual insurance company, the carrier of the insurance has said that their plan is to rebuild the building. So, based on that, if we were in a position to order the tear down, then, and we had somebody to go in and do that tear down, and we followed everything that we are allowed to do to keep us from
trespassing and doing all those things that are illegal, then that puts us in a liability position to be sued by the actual property owner for the difference between what the insurance company has agreed to provide for the rebuilding versus total loss. Did I say that all right?
I think so, but let me just ask this as a question of clarification, because I know the email we got, how I interpreted that message is that message was coming from a public adjuster that's acting on the behalf of the homeowner. That's not technically the insurance company.
Correct.
But that's why I
That
just
is
want to
correct.
clarify that, because I think what, outside of trust but verify,
Yeah.
we want the insurance company's direct point of contact, because the public adjuster is solely only interested in representing the homeowner and maximizing their dollars of coverage out of it. And having worked in that industry before in reconstruction, public adjusters are paid a percentage on what they're able to get back. So they have the financial incentive to technically, I don't want to say drag it out, but if it requires dragging it out in order to get the insurance company to succumb to the policyholders' push, that's part of it. And I was pretty frank, I think, with Sherry whenever I come over, because first time I went by and in our exchange, she's like, well, did you actually stop or did you walk the lot? And I said, no, because it'd be criminally trespass. And that's when I went back Friday, because she offered me, hey, you can look for my lot. I get these folks are in a distressed state, but I can tell you from the pictures that we have, plus the ones I took on my phone, even since everything they're claiming, insurance per the public adjuster is claiming everything is inventory. All the rusted, rotted scrap metal that's in the garage,
It's a mess.
along it. There is absolutely nothing salvageable there. There is absolutely nothing to where they're gonna go, okay, well, let's revisit this. They should have all they got photo documentation, that should be all that they need in order to reconcile claims on the back end. But for the sake of dealing with the public nuisance that this is, I'm very much a firm believer that, and as I told Sherry, I'm not gonna wreck these people's financial future and create a liability for us at the township, because I'm sure you guys are both. But I'm also not gonna let the tail wag the dog of the insurance company go, well, hey, we're gonna get to, because they claimed, 13,000 items inventory. They're getting through 150 a day. Quick math, we figured that was 90 days.
90 days.
In and of
The
itself.
last freeze we had in this area was March 13th, okay? And I understand this house fire happened in -10-degree weather, and it didn't thaw out till the end of February. March 13th, if you look it up, was the last time it froze, and these people have been dragging their feet. He comes over there, goes in the house, he pulls things out, and he was even in the dumpster pulling things out as much as like 2 weeks ago, because one of the other neighbors witnessed this. And I unfortunately have the brunt of the visual, because everybody else, that's where the fire started, was behind that garage. And so my house is 123 feet away from here, and I'm sure none of you would want to live next to it. Because, and it is starting to stink. When I was out there today, and there's no, even if they just took the dumpster away, it is the same dumpster, and the trash can is full, okay? Even if they just took the dumpster away and brought a new one in so they could load up the other stuff, it's like he said, the stuff in the dumpster, they had it already inventoried it. There's no way.
And I'm just waiting on clarification from that adjuster that the stuff in the dumpster, because it was there on March 8th, I got the receipt for it. That's when the dumpster showed up.
And the pod.
And so, once they verify that the thing is good to go, which we're pushing to be soon, and then I think we can at least get the dumpster out of there and then start to move forward.
What I would like to see us get though, and put it in writing so it's public record of that public adjuster, that we have the direct insurance company's point of contact. Because again,
I have it.
if we have that, I think they need to spell out for us a timetable, because as I shared with Sherry when we met, assuming they're only at the contents, finalizing the contents mitigation, insurance is offered some general segment. She doesn't wanna look at it for another,
6 months.
six months
2
or so.
days.
And on, yeah, the 2 days.
2
but-
days.
I don't
but-
wanna look at another day.
Yeah, but I've told her, based upon how that process works, even just making material selection, procuring the materials, scheduling the trades in there. Right now, as that sits, a reconstruction is every bit of 6 months, but that doesn't mean that she should have to be looking at all that trash and debris, so.
And it's structural trash, it's siding, drywall, insulation, and what's in it? Because there's mice coming over to my property, and God knows if there's gonna be rats or snakes, okay? But I'm just saying, load it, you know the big pile that was by the bush, that had all the drywall in it? He packed all up into a black trash bag this weekend. Took him 2 hours, I watched him because I was in my pool, 2 hours to load it into a trash bag, and the trash bag's still sitting there. He didn't put it in the dumpster. So that's what I'm saying, procrastination. It needs to help it.
So I guess what I want, and I'm only speaking for myself here, but, I wanna see not a request, a requirement put in writing to the public adjuster who represents a homeowner, plus to the actual insurance company, that we want a detailed timeline in which they're looking to finalize what actions they're gonna take to expedite the remaining processing of claims, and then and I even think we still tell them, listen, if it's not resolved by X point, the board would consider, not saying approve, would consider revisiting the demolition, talking about that for the sake of putting pressure on the company.
Not on the adjuster, on the actual carrier.
Yeah, because honestly, the public
Yeah.
the insurance company is ultimately going to be the one that controls it.
Correct.
The public and if they say, oh man, Plain Township's giving us real heat, well then they can drive it on the public adjuster to a point and say, you know what? This is what it is, we're not giving you another dime because your client's going to start
Correct.
costing us money. This claim is, and let them litigate it after the fact. That's just my opinion, but I mean, personally, as I told Sherry while we were there, as soon as she mentioned rats and then snakes, I told her, I like snakes come up.
We have,
But
and I was fire chief for 17 years, 2 fire chiefs ago, so I'm very familiar with this process. This is by far the most bizarre and complicated one that we have ever dealt with. And if I'm understanding correctly, we have another one that's gonna be similar to that.
Yes.
The one on 58th Street. So it seems like insurance companies now are dragging their feet trying to squeeze every nickel they can possibly squeeze so they don't have to pay for total reconstruction and just a blank check contents. Used to be simple. Used to have a fire, whatever your property was evaluated for, they paid that amount. Usually 50% of that went to the contents. Simple. Now, when he started telling us what was going on, I was confused as to who was actually all the players, because I've never seen anything like this. So we may, in addition to this one, we may have to look forward to the future as to how are we going to handle future ones as well, if these are the kind of things that we're going to be confronted with. So I
I don't know, the public adjuster, I guess, is the one that maybe holding this up. I mean, what percentage does this guy get?
We don't have a
You know,
clue. That's probably
Honestly,
negotiated.
And, you know,
it varies.
And so then then that allows that house to sit
Well,
there
it
like
could
that? I
be-
mean, it's a hazard, there's loose siding on it that's flapping in the wind.
Commercial residential.
What's gonna happen when it flies off and hits somebody or hits one of my vehicles?
Well, that's what,
Or children, there's kids up on the hill that, you know, wander down. When somebody wanders, and I have grandkids that come over all the time, what's to say that somebody does, or it's just random person? That house has been sitting there like that for 6 months. You're gonna have thieves pretty soon going in there and stealing copper, because you can get through the van door into the garage, because it's unsecured.
Well, and
Well,
that is part of what we're working to resolve tonight with the prior resolution. And Chuck, to clarify, at least based upon our conversation from earlier, outside of boarding up the doors and it's to at least get, what, 2 sheets up on those, on that upper
I guess you call it the
level.
top split.
yeah.
If the timber will hold,
Yeah.
which is significantly charged, so let's not have any
I know.
false expectations that it'll just be boarded, but I think the boarding from a securing helps, Sherry, don't let me speak for you, but I think what we still absolutely have to push with these guys, that being the insurance company and the public adjuster, schedule, date, cleanup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First thing, dumpster pull, dumpster pull, and I think from our conversation, you said, because I said, they're likely gonna pull one and then put one right there.
Right.
Okay, that's fine, so get the
That's
dumpster pulled, and if you know there's a replacement, so be it. It's not even that the pod's not sightly, but it's not really the issue compared to that, so pull the dumpster, and then provide a timeline that they're gonna have everything on that exterior, it's absolutely nothing left, cleaned up and out. 'Cause the dumpster, that's been part.
Yeah.
But down in the foundational area, because it's we said it was a
It's a
4-level
It's a
split.
3-level split, and it has a sub-basement, below, like where the laundry room is, ground level, that would be the laundry room, family room. And then there's an area that goes down below that,
So
so that's 4 levels.
I guess, outside of, John and I made comments, Brooke, do you?
No, you guys have both said the same things I would have said, and it should be, we'll see what happens with this, the public adjuster needs to.
But what kind of timeline, like,
That- well,
what, do you have any idea?
Well, they
what
have
kind of
30
timeline?
days to
But
make
when
corrective.
did we talk the last time?
Yeah.
Or whenever
We
we
have
got
to
the
follow
ball.
the statute.
Yeah.
Right, I know that.
Just that's the way it is.
Unfortunately, yeah,
Start
stuff
with
doesn't
this.
move fast,
Like
I
the
wish it
dumpster, I
did.
mean, come on, the dumpster, really?
He's paying a pretty
But we
penny for that
can
dumpster,
obviously
so-
meet with the adjuster and the homeowner and explain to them what we want secured and make sure it's to our satisfaction, that'd be okay.
Well, we don't have to wait 30 days to see.
No, I mean, they
secure that.
have up to
Yeah.
30 days
Yeah.
to secure it. I mean, I,
How,
that's,
typically after a board up, you have a fire, whether it's Plain Township, Jackson, Akron, Cleveland, Columbus, these board up companies are sitting there waiting, and did none of that occur, do we know?
well, we
or
had weather
did they-
that particular evening, we secured the lower level with product from the house. Obviously, everything else was on the second floor, we provide caution tape, et cetera. Assuming that the investigation would go quickly, but there was a long duration, that then the house was actually under investigation for the fire from the company because of the weather. So they didn't want us to completely board it shut, because they'd have to undo everything to get back in, et cetera. So that, and then we were kind of thinking that it may be torn out, in the initial phases of,
Yeah.
like I say, March-ish, and then this thing has changed over the last month or two now, of possibly rebuilding versus.
I guess what I'm also concerned about, whether it's real or not, my perception is that this had a level of hoarding activity. And hoarding in and of itself adds a whole other dynamic into the whole insurance element, because no different than when we were over off of property over off Whipple, everything's got value, supposed value. And it's all burnt out. Nobody can convince me different, that what we see in these pictures is a value, or that the insurance company needs it still in order to prove a part of the claim, given again, the inventory list and all their photo documentation. So I guess from a timing.
I'll call him tomorrow and try to get something scheduled to get the thing moving forward as fast as we can, and get with the adjuster and just kind of keep putting pressure. And, you know, maybe they can move the dumpster off-site and secure it until they verify what's in it. If there is some verification, they can put it at the dumpster place and bring them another one. I mean, I think there's options for the dumpster temporarily, if they do need items that are in it, per se, to say that was in the fire, you know, 'cause that's what it comes down to, in case they want something out of there to prove it was in, which, you know, it is what it is. I mean, we can only go by what they're saying, but we could probably have them move it off-site and put a clean dumpster in temporarily. I don't see that. It's something we couldn't ask.
I think securing the property, number one. Number two, dumpster removed, stored out, however they wanna label it, just not there. Is some type of clean dumpster. Followed by them providing, them being the insurance company.
Yeah.
What is the defined schedule, the timeline that the board as well as the residents can expect that to be cleaned up? And honestly, clean up, I don't want, I'm just again talking from, I don't want to hear 60, 90 days. And it's not me, because I want to be difficult, knowing how long this has sat here, having worked in the reconstruction industry before, there's no reason this should be sitting here. Other than an insurance company.
Clean that up.
I know, that's exact, it's the Alan Keith's, the designs, or whoever would get awarded a rebuild if it was to be rebuilt, but, you know, if the homeowner, and this is speculation, the homeowner does have that check and they're going, yeah, we're just gonna cash out, well then, that's where our holdback, we need to be ready to.
And we do have that in escrow.
Yes, and we did receive that. That was a little bit of a problem too, because it was sent to the wrong agency. So I had to wait to get that also, because I didn't have much leverage.
Was
you
that,
know.
that's what ended up to the city of Canton?
Yeah.
All
So,
right, that makes sense. That's
so
what
till
we-
we had that secured,
Yeah.
that was a little bit in this process too, just because we didn't have that in the checkbook, I guess you
Yeah.
say.
So I guess for Sherry's benefit and reasonable expectations, outside of, we've talked through steps, there's not necessarily some exact known dates, but is there any way from whether it's even providing me or some part of the board, hey, here's what come from those conversations, so we can keep it back to her, so it's not like, okay, I showed up at the board meeting, I heard him talk about these things, what's going on?
I would just
wanna be able
make
to
sure I
provide some types of
talk to
steps.
Mr. Williams here and make sure I'm following exactly what 505 says, so
Yeah.
we're doing the correct thing for all parties, you know.
Yeah, why don't,
You know,
when you make your points of contact, then we can get that information to the
Yeah.
three of you.
Because because it's a public record, I already shared the email that the
Sure.
public adjuster
Yeah.
had sent over. The only thing I removed from it was the homeowner's content file, because I figured Sherry did care more, want to see what 13,000 items are, but I mean, that's a fair public record to.
Yeah, yeah, we'll, Chief and I will work to get you the information as soon as we've got it.
Thank you very much.
Sherry, anything else? I just want to make
You know,
sure.
they say in that letter that they're not supposed to remove anything because of the insurance, you know? I witness him carry stuff out of there twice a week at least, on the average. So that, I don't buy that letter, just so you know.
Okay.
Because we talked on the 13th, and you guys suddenly got the letter on the 16th from
Okay,
the adjuster.
gotcha.
So it
that's because
doesn't,
I called.
it doesn't take a rocket scientist, because over the weekend, I'll guarantee you, they probably called him, right, Mr. Finicum,
Yeah,
and said, they're gonna tear our house down if we don't do something.
yeah,
And then the letter came out on the 16th,
okay,
okay? So they're procrastinators and they're hoarders,
okay,
simple as that.
gotcha. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to address the board?
If I may.
Yes, could you please state your name and address?
My name is Earl Wise. I live at 2291 Boulder Drive, northwest here in Pine Township. I signed the sheet out front too, so thank you.
Thank you.
I'm candidate for Canton Municipal Court. That election will be November 4th. I've been a resident of Plain Township since, I can't come up with an exact date, but the late 80s for certain. And member of the Ohio Army National Guard up here at the Akron Canton Airport for 7 years. My wife and I have lived on Muller Drive since 1995, raised our 2 daughters there. And last summer, they repaid the street, and thank you very much for that. We had 2, as I'm sure you remember, 2 water events that actually tore up asphalt going down the drive, or down the hill. One of my family members has a mobility issue, and the road department very graciously plated our driveway while the curb was turned up, and I really appreciate that. We've had a very pleasant experience in Plain Township all those years, and thank you all for that. You've all been here since then, but on board, but maybe Chief's been on most of that time. Again, I'm running for Canton Municipal Court. I started in the legal system in 1989 as a bailiff for Judge James Gwynn. I went to law school while working full-time at night up at the University of Akron, then worked at the Board of Elections, Deputy Director for the Stark County Board of Elections. Started in the prosecutor's office when I passed the bar in 1997. I worked there for 8 years prosecuting felony criminal cases. I then went to be the city administrator for the city of North Canton. So I have some knowledge of what we go through, particularly with snow plowing and fire department, police department, those types of things. Appreciate the travails and the trials that you go through with those types of things. I was in private practice for a while. Then for 6 years, I was a Court of Appeals court judge on the 5th District Court of Appeals, which covers all of Stark County and 14 other counties from here south and west down around Columbus, that area. Since May of 2023, I've been the chief counsel of the Masson Law Department, and again, have not so much township experience, but city politics, city civil issues. We actually had a federal lawsuit over a building tear down in downtown Masson here on an emergency basis. Those are not pleasant. In any case, a little background about myself. Wanted to introduce myself. Again, Earl Wise, running for Canton Municipal Court Judge, and I ask you all to consider making the wise decision for judge. So, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. All right. There is nothing under concerns of trustees, nothing under concerns of fiscal officer. That'll take us to the approval of the minutes. I'll make the motion for June 9th.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes. And I will make the motion to be hereby resolved by Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to adjourn to executive session at 6:42 p.m. from the regular meeting of the Plain Township Board of Trustees as authorized under Ohio Revised Code 121.22G for the purpose of the consideration of 1A, the appointment of a public employer official, 1B, the employment of a public employer official, or 1F, the compensation of public employer official. Can I get a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sabo?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.